The backside spin should not be practiced on the kicker. I couldn't even do the BS 180 for a long time, but after practicing with a certain method, I can suddenly do up to the BS 720, and that was with only 2 days of practice. This is a method that can be used because the BS is what was practiced. Try this method to go from a half spin to going all the way to the 7 easily. You also don't need to slide the switch stance after the half spin. Hello, this is B-koji. I'm going to introduce a revolutionary way to practice BS spin. First of all, why shouldn't we practice using a kicker? Let's get into it. Hold kickers are usually solid, and BS can be scary because it's a new sensation. If you such a new thing in the wrong environment, you won't be able to increase the number of rotations smoothly. So usually do 1, 3, 5, and so on. Increase gradually by half spin. In this case, it would take a while until 7 is achieved. My friend followed this old method and broke his bone twice before he couldn't do the BS 7. With my method, you'll be able to do it in just a few days and safety. Please try out my growth warp method. Be sure to follow this step by step. Make sure you can do it. And then move on to the next step. Let's go. Step 1. Rotate in place. As usual, we will not slide at first. How many rotations can you do in one jump on the spot? If you can do a half spin at this point, this is the very first thing to achieve. Using edges. This is the most important factor for high rotation BS spins. If you can do this, it's impossible to do BS3 even if you use your upper body. Please pay attention to the board. If the board placement is off by even 1 centimeter in the opposite direction of rotation, you will fail. This is a sign that energy is escaping. That's why you should dig in your toes in a little. When you are getting used to it, then jump only after you are able to hold the board firmly like this. If you can lock this board and use the upper body, you should be able to do it. Your goal should be about 360 degrees for males, 720 for females. There are 3 key points here. First, be able to hold the body in place without digging in. Stand the board up with your weight on your toes. Don't lean your body forward. Stand only the board up, like a Michael Jackson. Boo! This is it. If you can do this, the board will not move. Second, make sure you can swing your arm widely. You should swing your arms from the opposite direction and pull them close to you once you jump. It is easy to understand if you try it on your ground. In order to spin a rod, the arms should swing fast and widely, then smaller. In physics, it's a law of conservation of angular momentum. Make sure to be able to do this even when you have your board on. Third, keep your axis straight. When you focus on turning as hard as you can, your axis can fall off kilter easily. It's important to keep the axis straight through practice. However, you should also know how many turns you can manage. By doing so, you will learn to avoid danger. Beware of these 3 points, so that you can stabilize yourself when you come to a stop. Step 1 and step 2 and almost complete the BS 7. We are almost there. Step 2, the drive spin. To be honest, it's sufficient to get easy step 1 or step 2, so don't worry if you struggle with step 1. Just make sure you have this one. The procedure is similar to step 1. Make sure your toe edge is firm and doesn't shift. Then twist your upper body in the opposite direction of your rotation. Swing your arms widely and use the edges to rotate. The difference to step 1 is that you do not jump. Instead, we continue to rotate with the ball flat on the ground. This is always interesting due to the polarization. Some people find this easier because they are on the ground, while many others find it more difficult to flatten the board and prefer to jump as long as you have the edge. Axis and arm swing down. This should be relatively easy. There are two key points here. The first is no snow flying. After completing the preceding actions, it is important to confirm the board was as flat as possible. So if the snow spray even a little like this, it is a sign that the edge is higher than it should be. It may be riding on your heel or two, a common habit. This is a technique that takes some getting used to. However, once you get accustomed, it can be done with ease. You can also pay attention to if the rotation is slow, the heel edge is likely catching, or your center of gravity is off. A good way to improve your drive spin is to practice spinning on a balance board. Second, do not use one foot as your center of gravity. You can accomplish a drive spin with one foot. However, on the kicker, it is impossible to turn with the one foot as your center of gravity when you jump. So even in this drive spin, the center of gravity should be in middle of the board. The goal is to be able to do 2 or 3 revolutions at zero speed. Once that is stable, the BS7 is right there. Step 3. The slow spin. Here you finally slide a bit, but very, very slowly. Even if you slide slowly, you normally will not be able to use the edge. That was the case with this lady at first. She could do it if she was standing still, but when she moved, was off kilter. Imagine Michael Jackson even when moving. Remember to hold the board up like this. After this, it doesn't matter if you jump or not. It doesn't matter which, just keep the axis stable even when moving. Many people are too conscious of their toe edges and lean forward, resulting in this diagonal axis. This is not good for the kicker either, so make sure to keep the axis nice and straight. Thank you very much for your patience. You've done a great job. Now let's finally go to the kicker. Step 4, the main kicker. Is this what a kicker looks like? No. It doesn't matter how small it is at first. If you want, you can use bumps, waves, or gaps. Try doing what we did previously there instead. It's so small. So you wanna start with a 3? No. Go all the way. If you can do it on flat ground, you can do the BS7 on a small kicker. That's what I did. And you can do up to step 3 in just one day. I have taught about 200 people, and all of them were able to do it. So if you can do this on the ground, you can do the same thing on the kicker and get to the 7. It can be done on a beginner's kicker of 1 to 2 meters. This video is only my second day of practice. This is only a 5, but the next time I did was 7, but I couldn't even do a half spin. There are 2 main points here. One is timing. If I had done it on a flat surface, I could jump at any timing I wanted. But on the kicker, you cannot decide your own timing. You will be sent flying. Therefore, you need to be able to adjust to the kicker. The second is buoyancy. On the kicker, you will feel like you are being pushed from the below, which is something that wasn't a factor until now. This makes it even harder to stabilize your axis. So if you are worrying often, you should practice step 3 a little more, or do it on a kicker with a low lip angle, bump, or drop. Congratulations! You can now do the 7 on small kickers and bumps without risking injury on bigger kickers. You could even do it on flat terrain if you wanted. Now let's add some flavor as a last step. Step 5, the grab. You made it this far, but you wanted grab? Then let's do it. If you have made this far, you should be fine, right? The basics are the same as a straight jump. However, if you are too conscious of grabbing, it can be dangerous. If you make any movements before you jump, your axis will be off. That's why you should only grab after you jump. Instead of going for it with your upper body, bend your knees and pull with your leg. Do not change the movement before the jump at all, but the movement after. You will be able to even grab in an instant just by doing that. But I wonder, is not doing a grab bad? Everyone is doing it. The pros do it. But don't you think that all there is to it? In my opinion, it's way cooler to be able to rotate at high speed even without grabbing than to rotate slowly with a big kicker. Being able to turn anywhere, even flat ground, also shows versatility and is very cool. I personally try to create original flares that no one else is doing, so I have a few tricks that I invented and no one in the world has them. Is that cool? This time you find out how to shortcut to bigger tricks, rather than going down a prepared path like starting from the 1 or building up to 3, 5, 7. So by all means, try some unknown techniques. And for originality with me, I will be introducing more and more innovative tricks and methods. I make sure that all the techniques I introduce can be done in a few days. Good BS being life. Bye.